when ego gets out of the way and you recognize film is a collaboration, I think that's huge.
Hello.
Congratulations, CJ and Nate, for being accepted into Houston Comedy Film Festival for A Man Apart.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I also just want to say that you two are too cool and brilliant, and I'm just excited and honored to even have this screening at the festival.
Well, we're excited and honored to be part of the festival.
Yeah, we love going out there and getting to see everyone else's work and see what these cool creatives are doing. So thanks for making us a part of it.
You guys have an amazing background. Y'all are serious writers, and y'all have worked on amazing shows. Would you like to talk about yourself?
Well, I mean, I'd say
no,
kick it off. I mean, I don't know if you know, but she was just in Deadline recently.
Yeah, I'm really lucky. I started out as script coordinator on General Hospital.
Yes.
So they eventually let me badger them into writing a couple of episodes for them, which was amazing. And then I've always been a comedy girl, so I've worked my way into a bunch of fabulous rooms, and most recently was on Shrinking seasons 1 through 3, where again, great team and amazing people who let me write some episodes there. And yeah, we've really had a blast. It's been incredible to be in situations where I've gotten great mentorship and have gotten to grow my writing chops alongside them.
Man. And also, Nate, what about yourself?
Yeah, so bounced around from so many different jobs, but always with writing and directing as the focus. And, it's the first feature that I wrote and directed that CJ was a producer on, won the Audience Choice Award at the St. Louis International Film Festival 2021. We've got a second feature that's totally different, a lot more in line with A Man Apart, that is finishing it up its festival run, but it was Best of the Fest at Giggle Shits. It was it won some actor awards in different festivals, and so yeah, it's all over. I love. I mean, for the second feature, Bank Yank, one of the actors described it as if Dr. Seuss, Shakespeare, and your darkest fantasy had a three-way.
I'm so done.
Yep. Yeah. So I love wordplay. I love how what's the farthest we can stretch a word or a sentence or an idea, then twist it around and make it something new.
It's definitely something that you want to watch more than once because it's so fun on words.
Yeah, that's one thing we really loved about A Man Apart is that it's so short and concise that you can have that repeat moment without sitting down watching the whole thing. And obviously, Will and Natalie just completely crushed it. The way that they were able to take the script and really bring it to life. So, you get all the weirdness and the silliness of it, but also the deep, dark pathos of the film noir genre.
I wanted to ask y'all, when it came down to casting, that was so amazing. Can y'all talk to me about this process? That was so cool.
Yeah. So years ago, I worked with Will on a show that he created and starred in called The Last Man on Earth. And he's just the nicest, sweetest guy in the world. And so we stayed in touch. And, and then a couple years ago, as we were trying to develop this short, we were like, well, he'd be perfect, but there's no way he would do it. He's too busy, and he is too busy. But we were like, it's a 1-day shoot. Can you make it? And he was like, yeah, for you guys, let's do it.
He's truly just the absolute best. And I cannot speak more highly of him and just how he showed up and brought everything to this little tiny project on, the 8th floor of a weird building downtown.
I love that. Did y'all learn anything from him on set, while working with him? I'm so curious.
One of the things that I shouldn't have been surprised about, but I think in comedy, it can often get the impression where it's like, oh, people are just silly making jokes and there's not as much technique or, theory behind it. but he was just so good at his craft where it's like, I'd give a note and he would take it in and you could almost like see him being like, okay, right, 13% more here, 8% less there, and then would just nail it. Like it was just so, I mean, obviously he's been doing it for forever, but just to see his brain work and just, yeah, how he approached, I mean, also just by the end of the shoot, he gave, I think, almost everyone on the crew a hug. He was knowing people's names. He was, it's just how he approached every step of the way and just how collaborative he was. I mean, not to get too graphic on this, but there's a particular dick joke in the short, and we spent a little bit of time kind of going through like, okay, well, would it be this animatonically be this way and this for this to make the joke work, or does it make more sense syntax wise if it's he
Oh,
was just so he was game for whatever.
I love that. That's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge. And when it comes down to Natalie, what about her as well? What did you
Natalie's
learn from her?
terrific.
Yeah.
We've been obsessed with Natalie since we saw Nate, which I hope you've seen. It's on Netflix now. She's this one woman clowning machine, and we just really loved her work. And so we went and saw another show of hers called Laid, where every day her character lays an egg and then has to decide whether to raise it or eat it, which is, you know,
It's crazy,
she
but
has eggs
it's
hidden all over her body and is like producing them throughout the whole.
and
Anyway,
like throwing them around it's crazy.
she's magical, and so we approached her kind of cold. I think Nate knew someone who knew her.
Yeah, I had a mutual friend, but I mean, you know how that works. Like most of the time,
Yeah.
you never hear back, which is
Yeah.
fine. But very quickly, she was like, "Yeah, I'm
Warm.
game.
Yeah,
Let's do it."
she's incredible. I mean, it's very similar to Will, like, the way she was able to take notes, the way she came in with all of this crazy dialogue, like, just locked and loaded with, a very specific bent. I mean, we could not have been luckier.
Yeah,
Man.
no, I mean
Yeah.
the only thing that you wanted more of was they're just both such great physical comedians, and with
Yes.
just having only a day of filming, we get to see some of it, but it's just like, oh, if we had
I
3 days,
If
what
this
could we? Yeah,
if this
You
were the
said you
feature
want them with
version.
3 days. Yeah.
Yeah. And, Nate has a kind of a feature version of the screwball detective world that we're working on finding funding for. And, it's that dream of like, oh, if we can do that and like actually give people like the two of them the space to play. I mean, what a joy.
Mhm.
That's what filmmaking is about. It's about bringing the best people that you can and the most talented people you can together to create something magical and new that, to quote Nabokov, enchants, you know. So
I mean,
we really hope that this does that.
For Natalie, I would say she's just full of so many great ideas.
Mm.
And obviously, you have to have the due north, the guiding, light. But when there are moments where if she's like, oh, I've got this kind of crazy thing, what do you think? Letting her go with it and keeping your ego out of the way. Cause it doesn't always work, but more often than not, you're going to get some gold. Like if you would try to be like, no, this
yeah.
has to be exactly what's in the script. We can't deviate. You're going to lose out on gold. And with Will, I think his kindness just shines through. And I mean, obviously the hilarity, but like, I, he just comes from a place of not even just treating everyone like equals, but treating everyone like they're great.
Yeah, it means a lot when your actors on set are actually communicating with crew and treating them like people. And not only like people, but like people they love and respect and are happy to be there with.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Because it's just treating everyone like they're people. You're not giving that person a hug at the end of the day and being like, hey, you were amazing in costumes. And like, maybe we only had 20 minutes of interaction, but like, you made me better. I made you better. Like,
Yeah.
that's where, that's where that's one of the places in which the artistry can really come in.
Yeah, when ego gets out of the way and you recognize film is a collaboration, I think that's huge.
Thank y'all for really sharing that. That is very powerful. People really do remember the way you make them feel. And I
Yes.
love the fact that along this conversation that we've had, you have brought up his kindness and the hug more than once, and that says a lot. That says a lot. You know what I mean? What sort of advice would you have for writers? And did y'all have writer's block for this?
Well, Nate came up with the script, which is just this, it's such a delightful screwball time. I think the thing that we run into more often than not is that he has so many good, funny joke ideas and things that at the end of the day you have to go through and say, okay, these are all really fabulous, but how do we pare it down and make sure that the story and the emotion comes through?
Makes sense.
And so my job as a producer for this was really to look at it and be like, yes, I love the 17th dick joke. Like, great, top notch. But also, like, is there a way that we can bring stuff in to give it a little bit more of a shape? Like, how do we create something that really has that storytelling element while hitting all these comedic beats that you want to get to?
Mhm.
So I think foundationally for me as a producer, I need to see that that's there, and in working with writers, it's very much okay. How do we craft that, especially in the short film format? Because we've got like 3 minutes to crush it, and so you can't have too much chaff around it. You really have to like narrow down, say, okay, what's the point?
What's the
What's the
point?
message? What are we trying to put through with this? And that continues through the whole process. I mean, is it Walter Murch who says you tell the story 3 times? You tell it on the page, you tell it while you're shooting, and you tell it in the edit.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it was here. It's very much, okay, how can we get it the best it can be on the page? And then when we're shooting, as he said, we only had a day. So, okay, is there anything that we need to cut or we need to move around or that isn't working that we can adjust on the fly? And then again in the edit, I mean, we had a really terrific editor on this project.
Well,
And
and also initially we shot it in color.
yes,
Oh.
There is a color version out there that's still great, but
yeah,
it was the editor who was like, "Hey, think it looks awesome in color. I just bumped out a black and white edit just to
just for
see."
fun. Just,
Because, like, I mean, we went back and forth before, and ultimately we were just like, "Oh, it'd be fun to have it be more neo noir with the the neon and the just saturated and beautiful colors." And then when we saw it in black and white, we were like, "What the were we thinking?"
Yeah. And it
truly,
really
it's
goes
like,
well with the music.
yes. Oh my gosh. We have to talk about our music
Oh,
team.
I was gonna
Like,
ask you about the music as well. W Was that made custom just for this? That was awesome.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, Max was, basically someone we met through a friend, and if I recall correctly, he already had, like, maybe he made his thesis within a noir kinda like, he doesn't typically play in this world, but he was like, "Yeah, no, I love noir. I know this, let me," and he did such a great variation on a team because there's this classic noir scores, and we wanted something that also aided the comedy of it.
mhm,
Like, it can't just be stealing the score from The Big Sleep. And
Mm.
he really nailed it.
yeah.
And he was, collaboration, another thing there. It's finding the people who are great artists in their own right. And then you're like, okay, here's what I'm thinking, but let's dance.
Man, when I say y'all have an excellent, just mix of so many things from just the pacing, the talent, the music. I definitely believe that whenever you do your feature film, you have to have a soundtrack. You have to.
Oh, yeah.
Duh, you have
100%.
to. Like, just throwing that out there. You said you were working on something right now, another feature?
Uh, the other one is a different screwball feature. That's six best friends who go away for the weekend when one of them reveals he's invented and lost a time machine.
Mm.
And so we actually we finished a proof of concept for it. That's
That
just,
is so cool.
yeah.
Yeah, it's super lush colors and very very like Amelie paleted, which is super cool and then has the same like weird zany language between all these different people and their relationships.
And, it's when people or, if they've seen just stills, they're like, wait, that's a comedy? Because that looks like a gorgeous, kind of mysterious,
Yeah,
yeah,
vampy indie.
Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
just like I want to see. Listen,
Well, send it to you, yeah.
Yeah.
he
But as I mentioned, CJ was just recently in Deadline. She has a really exciting project that I don't know if you're ready, if you want
Yeah,
to.
I wrote a feature about the founding of the Rainforest Cafe in partnership with the guy who created it. So
oh, that's cool.
it's a very silly time about this guy who has a dream, and it really is about artistry and what it takes to keep your dream alive in the face of all those naysayers in the world. And the guy's name is Steve Schessler, and he turned his rental house into the prototype of the Rainforest Cafe over 3 years and $400,000 in the early 90s and showed it to people until he found an investor.
26
Yeah.
rejections?
No, 26 rejections from a single guy before the guy said yes. So it's a story of
The founder of
persistence and
Rainforest
artistry.
Cafe.
Yeah. And so it's
Wow.
about persistence and artistry, and yeah, we're shopping it right now. So hopefully we'll have some good news for you in a few weeks or months.
Keep us updated so we can share the news. Hello.
Thanks. Will do.
And this was an honor, and congratulations again. And
Oh, thank
Thank you
congratulations,
you.
so much.
the other special congratulations for the other bundle.